Hello everyone, this is Siddiqur Rahman and welcome to the first continuation of the third lecture of the fifth week, or you can say the last lecture of the fifth week. So let's start. By the end of this lecture, you guys will be able to know about parity checker. This slide represents the overall outline of this lecture. You guys will learn the overview of parity checker, working function of this checker, and the classification of the parity checker, as well as you guys will learn the overview of even parity checker and the overview of odd parity checker. So let's start with the overview of parity checker. The combinational circuit at the receiver is the parity checker. I repeat it again, the combinational circuit at the receiver is the parity checker. This checker takes the received message, including the parity bit, as input. It gives the output, I repeat it again, it gives output 1 if there is some error found, and gives output 0 if no error is found in the message, including the parity bit. So next, from this slide we may learn the working function of parity checker. So let's start. The parity checker is a logical circuit that checks data transmission errors. Remember these things. I repeat it again. A parity checker is a logical circuit which checks data transmission errors based on the type of parity generated. It can be even parity checker or odd parity checker. The number of inputs must be even for even parity checker and odd for odd parity checker. If a parity error occurs, the even output goes low and I repeat it again, odd output goes high in case of even parity checker. Well, it is the other way around for odd parity checker. From this slide, we may learn the classification of parity checker. Sorry, I repeat it again. From this slide, we may learn the classification of parity checker. Parity checker is classified into two types. One is even parity checker and another one is odd parity checker. Now, from this slide, we may learn the overview of even parity checker. So let's start. Suppose at the transmitting end, even parity bit is generated and we have 3 input message signals and 1 parity bit. The parity checker circuit is fed all these 4 bits to check for possible errors. So a 3-bit parity checker actually has a 4-bit input. Remember these things. Well, since the transmitting end is working with even parity, the number of ones received by the checker circuit must be even for every case where the input to the parity checker has an odd number of ones. The error output will be 1. This high error output indicates that error is present in the signal, and for every input where the number of ones is the expected even count, the error output will be 0. Now, we may learn from this slide the truth table of even parity checker, and we have already known this checker has 4-bit inputs. So if we combine, or if we write 2 to the power 4 is 16 combination 16, so we get the input the 4 inputs combined and 16 ways, such as 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 0, and in this way the last value of the combination, I repeat again, the last combination of the inputs are 1 1 1 1. And one thing you need to remember for this even parity checker truth table, which is if the 4-bit received message consists of an even number of ones. I repeat it again. If the 4-bit received message consists of an even number of 1, which means no error has occurred. And if it contains an odd number of 1, which means an error has occurred. So in the right side of the truth table, you may notice that there are zeros and ones. And you guys, I hope right now understand why 1 and why 0 are placed. And 1 for getting 1, we are indicated in different color because we count for 1 sorry, I repeat it again. We write the Boolean expression by using this 1. That's why we are indicated in different color in the truth table. So let's move into the next slide. Now if we convert, or you can say this slide represents the K-map of even parity checker, and if we convert the truth table in previous slide into K-map, then we may find this type of K-map. So the truth table in previous slide can be simplified using K-map as shown in below, and we have already know there are 4 input. That's why we get the 16 combination of these 4 input, which is already in the first K-map, and in the right K-map we just placed 1, or you can say when the even parity checker is 1, just we placed that 1 into the specific or specified shells, because we have already mentioned in the previous slide that we can write the Boolean expression for even parity checker by using this 1, or the input values or the input condition of this 1. So let's move into the next slide. And from this slide you may learn the Boolean expression of even parity checker. And if we look at the truth table in this slide, then you may find, if we consider the first one at the parity error check, which has 4 inputs, the value of 4 inputs is or are 0 0 0 1. For this combination we can write not A, not B, not C, and D. And in this way the rest of the in this way we can write the rest of the ones as follows. And if we see in the right side of the slide, then we will find from the even parity checker truth table, the parity error check simplified expression is written as not A, sorry, I repeat again, even parity checker expression, sorry, I repeat again, from the even parity checker truth table, the parity error check simplified expression is written as, which is symbolized by P suffix even underscore checker, which is represented as even parity checker, and we can get not A and not B and not C and D, or not A and not B and C, not D and sorry, or not A and B and not C and not D, or so on. And if we simplify this expression, then we get the first inside of the first parenthesis, and inside of the first parenthesis we get A XOR B. First parenthesis is completed. After that we get only an XOR sign. After that second parenthesis is started, and inside of the second parenthesis is C XOR D. So let's move into the next slide. And from this slide we may learn the logic circuit of even parity checker, and we have already known from the previous slide that we have four inputs, and the final expression was A XOR B, or sorry, I repeat it again, A XOR B inside of the first parenthesis. After the first parenthesis we get XOR, and after XOR sign we get a second parenthesis, and and inside of the second parenthesis is C XOR B, C XOR D, sorry, I repeat again, C XOR D, and that's why we need 3 XOR gate to implement the logic circuit of even parity generator. And in the right side we write CP, and which is represent the output of even parity checker. So let's move into the next slide. From this slide we may learn the overview of odd parity checker. So let's start. Suppose at the transmitting end odd parity bit is generated and we have 3 input message signal. The parity checker circuit is fed all these 4 bits to check 4 possible errors. Since the transmitting end is working with odd parity, the number of ones at receiving by the checker circuit must be odd. An error occurs on the even number of ones at the receiver's end, that is, the message signal has become distorted. Now, from this slide we may learn the truth table of odd parity checker, and we have already know that the number of input of odd parity checker is 4. That's why we can get the 16 combination of the 4 inputs. And one thing is important for you guys, and you have to remember these things for the truth table of odd parity generator, which is if the 4-bit received message consists of an even number of 1, which means an error has occurred. I repeat it again. If the 4-bit received message consists of an even number of 1, which means an error has occurred, and if it contains an odd number of 1, no error has occurred. Okay, so that's it for this truth table, and we may move it to the next slide. And from this slide we may learn the Karnaugh map of the odd parity checker. And from the previous slide we have already known the truth table of odd parity checker, which is if we convert the previous truth table into Karnaugh map, then we get the left Karnaugh map of this slide. And if we place as the even parity checker, then we get the right K-map, and we placed only 1 in each cell has occurred for 1 in the right K-map. So don't confuse these things. I hope you guys will understand these things. For your understand, I have attached this K-map in this slide. So let's move into the next slide. And from this slide we may learn the Boolean expression of odd parity checker. And if we consider the first one in the parity error check, which has 4 input value, 0 0 0 0, and we may write for this condition not A, not B, not C, not D. and if we and the rest of the and we can write in the same way the rest of the for the rest of the ones. And if we see in the right side of this slide, then we may find from the odd parity checker the truth table, sorry, I repeat it again, from the odd parity checker truth table, the parity error check simplified expression is written as, and the Boolean expression of the odd parity checker is symbolized by p suffix odd underscore checker, which is equals to not a and not b and not c and not d, or not a and not b and c and d, or not a and b not c and d, or not a and b, no, sorry, repeat it again, not a and b and c and not d, or, and so on. And if we simplify this expression, then we may find a XNOR b inside of the first parenthesis. After that we get XNOR, second parenthesis is started, and inside of the second parenthesis we get C XNOR D. And from this slide we may learn the logic circuit of odd parity checker, and we have already found the Boolean expression of odd parity checker from the previous slide, which is inside of the first parenthesis a XNOR b. After the first parenthesis we get XNOR, and after XNOR we get second parenthesis, which is which has inside C XNOR D. That's why we need 3 XNOR gate to complete or to implement this odd parity checker. And in the right side of this figure you may find the output of the odd parity checker. So let's move into the next slide. And from this slide we may learn some of the advantages of parity, such as simplicity and easy to use. And from this slide we may learn, or you can say time has come to learn some of the applications of parity, such as in digital systems and many hardware applications. Second one, the parity bit is also used in small computer system interface, which is in short and also called SCSI, and also in peripheral computer interconnect, which is in short and also called PCI, to detect the errors. In the next week and in the next lecture, you guys will learn about multiplexer. So that's all for this lecture, and thank you guys for your attention. See you guys in the next week and next lecture. Till then, thank you.